All right, you guys, welcome to our Tuesday night class. I'm excited that you guys are here, and this is one of my favorite topics. I don't know about you, but I love spending time outside in my garden. Anytime I've got something going on with my emotions or just feeling overwhelmed or you name it, one of my favorite things to do is go out and get my hands in the dirt or just be able to go sit outside and just let the sun, hit me or the breeze and just really take in nature. But along with nature comes some pesky little critters that make it so it's not as much fun sometimes. And so I love this picture because whether you're indoors or outdoors, we can use our diffusers that can help us to create the environment or also to distract or repel some of those pesky little flies and mosquitoes and things like that. So tonight we're going to be talking about some really great fun things on ways that you can use essential oils in your garden, on your patio, and you can have a chemical-free, safe place and environment. Okay, so the first thing is, how do we use essential oils outside on our patio or for us as we're going outside? Diffusing is one of my favorite things. And a lot of times people will say, why are you diffusing outside? Well, think of that diffuser when you create essential oils that are going to do the work for you. It can safely go out there and almost put this barrier, this shield around you or around your area that can protect you. Now, you can also create different roller bottle blends or room sprays or sprays for your body. And I love that when I get to make these, I'll use, just like a purified water. When I'm putting essential oils with water, I always add a little pinch of Epsom salt that helps the oil bind to the water and stays blended. In some of my recipes, I'll use things like witch hazel instead of water because it's nourishing to the skin. Plus, it just gives it a little bit different scent. Now, what I also want to say here is, all of our essential oils are safe for everyone in our family, whether they're our fur friends, different pets, cats, dogs, horses, goats, you name it, and our kids of all ages. So I don't have to worry about if my grandbaby comes over to visit, if I have toxic chemical sprays or sprays that, can cause harm to her. We can just use our essential oils. Now, a couple weeks ago, I shared how my dad was asthmatic, and just having one of the most common mosquito repellent sprays, if it were out and we got sprayed, he couldn't even be near us without it putting him into a breathing disorder, which was really awful. So at a very young age, we started using more natural products. Now, I also want to talk about those same pests. Some of them are really great for our gardens. Like there's some, different insects that will come in and they'll, like bees, and they'll pollinate our flowers, pollinate the plants so that they are healthier and happier and can have those flowers and things. And so we want to attract some, but we also want to detract some. And so how can we use our essential oils, which are safe for all insects also? So the best part about this is it doesn't cause any harm to anyone. And so these insects can fly around, like the doTERRA shield in our diffuser, and it's just going to make them not want to be in that area. And so, but it's not going to cause any harm. So that's something that I absolutely love, that they are safe for everyone in our household. And so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to jump into, now on some of these screens, you guys will see recipes. Remember that with every recipe, so say there's a recipe and it's for, spiders and flies and mice or fleas, and you're going, wait, I don't have those. You can still customize your essential oil blends for what it is that you're trying to target. Now, I already mentioned that essential oils will naturally repel bugs. And so here's a really great graphic. I know Sarah's here tonight with us, and she shared not too long ago a recipe for ants. I don't know what it is about springtime, but seems like there's a week or two when we get these little itty bitty ants that come into the house and they just kind of congregate around, and then pretty soon they're gone. Now, I know for ours, I'll take a little bit of cinnamon oil and I'll just put it in, like I'll just draw a little drizzle around where they come in, and it just takes care of them right away. Now, you can also see there's essential oils for flies and spiders and ticks. How many of you guys live in an area where ticks are a problem? You know, right, Elizabeth? It's like, you know, so we have sagebrush and different kind of brushes and things like that. And so ticks are definitely an issue for us. We take our dog out all the time, and he does get ticks on him occasionally. So what we do is we'll use Terra Shield. I just leave some of that oil in the back of my car where he rides, and I'll put a couple of drops on his collar. And then I'll also, you know, spray the spray into my hands, rub my hands together, and I'll just rub it down his belly and down his legs, because I want to give him that as he's getting ready to go out into, you know, the brush and stuff like that. Now, you can always take any of our essential oils and kind of amp them up to the next level. So you'll see here for ticks, it has Terra Shield, cedarwood, geranium, and thyme. Now, you don't necessarily need to have all of those oils at the same time, but you could take that Terra Shield, and I don't know if you guys can see. So here is the Terra Shield. It comes in a 15 ml, and it also comes in a spray, 30 ml spray. Now, the spray is already diluted with a carrier oil, so it's meant to just go direct sprayed onto your skin. But if I were having a breakout of ticks in the area, or they were really heavy or something, what I do is I open up the bottle, I drop more of the cedarwood, geranium, and thyme inside this bottle, and then I'll also take the stickers. You know how we have labels that go on the tops of our bottles? I'll take those stickers and I'll put it on the outside so that I know exactly what's inside here. Now, when I'm adding different essential oils to a blend like that, you guys, I might start with 5 drops of each one, or 3 drops of each one, and then I'll just kind of play it by ear and see what I need more of. Now, you can also see on here we have beetles and fleas. So that Terra Shield, lavender, lemongrass, and tea tree. So if I were trying to get fleas and ticks, then I would take that Terra Shield and I would custom blend and add some lavender or tea tree into that blend also. Because they will blend together, you can kind of create whatever it is that you need. Now, on the right hand side, you'll know that we use glass bottles, or we'll also use a spray bottle that is safe for essential oils. And you can just see that by looking at the bottom of the bottle, and if there's a certain code, it's safe for your bottles. Now, why is this important? Well, because we're not eating them or anything. So, but naturally, some of these essential oils will break down the plastic. And so we don't want to use oils that are going to break it down. Now, after I've had a Terra Shield bottle, because I will continue to refill it and refill it and refill it, add different oils. Sometimes the spray tops will stop working. Well, that's easy enough to fix. Is just get a new bottle and start over. And usually they'll last me for at least a year or two before I have to replace it. Now, this essential oil bug repellent is kind of like when you look at it, you're going, okay, I have flies, I have spiders, I have mosquitoes, and I have aphids. Then you can take from each one of those categories and add about 30 to 35 drops total in that bottle. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll say, okay, if I'm going to use 4 oils, then I might do, 10 drops of each one or 8 drops of each one. But I also will take different recipes and I'll look at them and see what is it that I want to mix up, and you can't really overdo it. The main thing here is a little bit of our essential oil goes a long ways, and so you don't need a whole bunch. Even though if you were to take, a drop of peppermint, clove, eucalyptus, and cinnamon and drip it on the floor where your ants are, I guarantee the ants are going to be gone. But you'll be able to have it go a lot further. So there's your first recipe. You'll want to be able to take some screenshots as we go along. Okay, now we're going to talk about citronella. How many of you guys have tried doTERRA citronella? So it has this very distinct scent. And what I can tell you about our citronella is it's one that you can actually take internally, or you can use it topical. Now, there's just certain things. When I'm teaching people about our citronella, I love that it's not chemically made. A lot of the ones that you're finding at the grocery store or you're finding, at the garden shops and things like that have a lot of synthetics and a lot of chemicals. Now, why does that matter? Well, for me, why that matters is I know that those synthetics and things are what causes my skin to have disruptions and to not be happy. Never fails. We usually get sirens during our class at this time of night. Anyway, so I love that this is 100% natural from nature, and so it's going to be able to be safe for our whole family. Now you can use it in all these different ways that's shown on the right hand side, but I also wanted to show you what I'll do is do you guys like tiki torches? I love them in my yard. What I'll do is I'll take the oil that comes from the tiki torch and I'll open it up and I'll just put like maybe 5 to 10 drops of citronella. Sometimes I'll add peppermint to it because I love the way that peppermint smells. And then I just will start that tiki torch up, and then it's inside and it will have that smell come out with a really safe, natural effect. Now, I also have made these really cool citronella candles. You can see a picture of it down in the far left-hand corner. You guys, it's so easy to do. You'll just take a jar of any kind. I love to take old jam jars or mason jars. Now, this is something that I'll make if I'm having like a get-together, or maybe I'm having a patio party. And so what you'll do is you'll follow the directions here. And now it does have where you can make your own candle. Sorry, citronella candle. I just buy a small candle that's unscented, and I'll put that in the jar, and I'll add the citronella to the water. And just for decorations, I will slice up some fresh lemon, some fresh lime, and I love putting a little bit of rosemary in the water. You can see how pretty that looks. And then I'll just simply take the essential oil, put it in the water, stir it up, and then I'll put that floating candle in there, and it naturally will go out and it scents the entire area. Now, you could put TerraShield in there or any other essential oil, but people, you know, especially if you've got mosquitoes or little no-see-ums. Does anybody here know what a no-see-um is? Holy cow, right, Elizabeth? It's like, I remember going to Florida and they're in the grass and you don't see them, no-see-ums, and when they bite you, it gives you this irritated little bite that really burns and stings. So they don't like the citronella either. So another really great thing to use naturally out on your patio. Okay, so TerraShield, you guys, now for one more day, TerraShield and citronella are 20% off with doTERRA. As part of their 20% off sale. So make sure if you're watching this replay, the last day is the 27th, which is tomorrow. And I want to just show you guys some of the really cool things that people use this TerraShield for. Now, I love it. I already talked about it's 100% safe. There's no synthetic chemicals or anything. And so you can feel with confidence that you can spray the spray in your hands. And then what I like to do is I'll put it around my ankles. I'll also spray it and I'll put it around underneath my hair and the back of my neck, and then around my wrists. And sometimes I'll even take it and go through like my scalp. It's not going to leave your hair all greasy unless you use a ton of it, but it's going to keep all of those bugs from wanting to get into those areas. Now, you can also take the pure essential oil. So the 15 ml bottle is 100% pure essential oil. There's nothing in there that is that's diluted. Now, you can use this on your camper. You can use this, of course, on your patio. What I'm going to say is, if I'm getting ready to go out and work in my garden, then I will take this and I'll spray it on my shoes. I'll spray it on my clothing. If I'm using it on my patio, what I like to do, if I'm having a gathering, I'll usually wipe everything down before people come over. So I'll take it and I'll get a clean towel with some soapy water. I love the doTERRA On Guard concentrated cleaner. So I'll make a batch of soapy water with that. And then what I'll do is I'll take it, get it all soapy, I rinse it out, or I wring it out a little, and then I'll spray that TerraShield on the towel before I wipe down the counters, before I wipe down the patio furniture. And sometimes I'll like wipe around the door and that helps to naturally repel or have that TerraShield on there without spraying it on, real heavy. I also love to be able to do that. So if my dog is running around outside, I'll, put a little bit of TerraShield on him. If I'm going camping or hiking or any of my clothes get it on them. This is one of my favorite blends from doTERRA, especially for any kind of outdoor adventure. And if you guys have tried it, let us know in the comments. What's your favorite way to use it? Okay, so now we're going to go into cedarwood. Now, what you'll know about essential oils is there are some oils that are naturally bug repellent. There are some that are going to attract different things. So if we're wanting our pollinators to come, then basil is a really great oil that will attract pollinators. Lavender is another one. Lemongrass will attract bees. So if you have bees or hornets or wasps or things like that, you'll want to make sure that you don't have lemongrass in your diffuser or in your outdoor blends. Now, what I love here about cedarwood is it's mainly known for like dog beds. How many of you guys have a pet that has wood chips and stuff in there? Usually they'll use cedarwood. Or in our closets, I have little planks that are made of cedar wood that have a little hook. Now, what I do with these planks is I take that cedar wood and I'll add extra to it to keep the moths away. You guys, we've had maybe 2 weeks of warm weather. I just got done planting my flower pots out front of my store. And sure enough, first thing today, we have moths flying around the windows trying to get to that. So I make a homemade spray. This is a spray, and so this is a 32-ounce bottle. What's really great about this bottle, you guys, is we can make it, we shake it, we spray it on the plants. A really great tip for spraying your house plants or garden plants is you'll never want to spray them when it's hot outside. And you'll also want to spray where the root comes in, not the leaves on the top. If you're using them especially to support for things like garden bugs and stuff like that. So this spray, 32 ounce, we have 10 drops of DDR Prime. Now, how many of you guys know DDR Prime? Now, that might sound kind of strange because DDR Prime is our cellular repair blend. But when you look at each of the oils that are in that blend, you'll see that it is packed with all kinds of essential oils that will help with our plants. The other thing I love about DDR Prime is it's not only good for us, but it helps to support your plant's roots in growth. So about once every 10 days or 15 days, I'll take my 2 gallons of water at home and I'll put 1 or 2 drops of the DDR Prime in there, mix it up really good, and then I use it to water my plants. And that's like giving them this food boost, right? And when I have fresh flowers, I'll also add a drop of DDR Prime to the water instead of the packets. It's just that really great blend. So the other part is 16 drops of thyme oil, 11 drops of peppermint, 11 drops of clove, and 8 drops of rosemary. Now, in this blend, you're not going to want to add your salt because that will be harmful for the plants. So just add your water, and that was for 32 ounces. And then before we spray it, we shake it, and then we'll spray the roots or the underneath the leaves or the foliage of the plant to make sure that it helps to repel any kind of, critters that could harm those plants or make them so that they're not growing right. Now, if you notice that you have mold or fungus, then you could also add a little bit of tea tree oil to that blend, 10 to 12 drops of tea tree, and that's a natural antifungal essential oil that can help to be very supportive of that. Okay, now back to cedarwood. What I love about it is this shows you all kinds of different ways that you can use this essential oil. So what I love about doTERRA specifically is we can use them for our emotions, we can use them for our bodies, for our health, and then we can also use them for our skin or for our surroundings. And so here, how fun it's a bug repellent, and the same one is great for your skin. You can also use it for inflammatory support. So I love adding cedarwood to any kind of skin disruption. So if you have been bitten by a bug, and you'll notice that our Correct X, one of the first ingredients is cedarwood. I love that my dog, like sometimes on his dog bed, what I'll do is I'll just take the spray, and I'll just take some cedar wood, or usually there's TerraShield in there, and some water, and I'll just spray the surface of his bed. And it has really been great for when he has itchy skin. I know that sounds kind of strange, but he really likes it. Other great things you can use it for is it's extremely calming. And I love all the things. So it's antifungal, it's anti-infectious, it's a natural antiseptic, it's an astringent. It helps with repelling insects. And so I love that it's so, and you'll go through each one of our oils, you guys, and you'll be able to see how each one has so many different uses. And so a lot of times, I remember I was working with somebody years ago, and they came in and they said, Haley, you're not going to believe this, but this lady, she was just trying to talk us into oils. And I like, what do you mean? And she goes, well, she was telling us that you could use oregano for a cold, and you could also use the same oregano to remove a wart. Can you believe that they would? And I'm like, you can. Like, I think it's amazing how versatile our oils are. Okay, so other oils that will repel bugs in our garden. So if you have a slug problem, how many of you guys have slugs all over? So Siberian fir, Siberian fir would be a really great one. And so you're going to want to make sure that you always dilute the oils. And so I think a good rule of thumb is when you're putting about 5 to 10 drops in about 2 to 4 ounces of water. So they're pretty much highly diluted. And so beetles, arborvitae, ants, of course, here it says peppermint. We know that there's other oils that you can use for that also. Fleas, thyme, lemongrass for mosquitoes. Gosh, for mosquitoes, we have lemongrass, citronella, arborvitae, TerraShield. If you have a gnat issue, patchouli, and for roaches, eucalyptus. Now, if I knew somebody who had a roach problem, when my son lived over in Hawaii, that was just something that they got used to having, crawl around their house. And he would take a 30 ml spray bottle, which is the same size as what the TerraShield comes in, and he would fill it about 1/4 of the way full of eucalyptus, and then the rest of it with water, and he would just sit and spray it around like his windowsills. Another thing that you can do, so say you have rodents. How many of you guys love mice? Mice are in their full glory right now, right? Thumbs down, right? Is being able to take, say, peppermint, or for your roaches, your eucalyptus, you can put it on like a cotton ball and then stuff it in the corners of like the window frame. Or I'll take peppermint and I'll have it on cotton balls and I'll put it underneath my bed. And anywhere you want to have that barrier or not have those mice, this is very, very effective. So I had a guy come into the store, oh gosh, it's been probably a couple years ago, and he said, I hope you can help me. And I said, what you got? He goes, we have an infestation of moths in our house. And he goes, and we have tried everything over the counter. I've done everything that people have said. And so somebody said to come and talk to you about it. And so we sold him a diffuser, because what we know is when we diffuse essential oils, it's not only hitting, like giving us the benefit of having it on us, but it's putting it out in that entire environment. And so he did cedar wood and peppermint, and I think there was one more that we sold to him. And he was just going to diffuse that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and see what happens. And lucky enough for him, that was the perfect thing to get rid. I think it was clove, actually, that we put in there. Tammy can probably tell us when we get to our Q&A. But, I love that we have something that when nothing else works, we have a solution for people. It's all natural and there's no harm. So then here's a recipe also for, repelling or preventing the bugs like the aphids and the flies. Now, keep in mind, you guys, because we've mentioned pets here, you could also take these sprays and spray them on your hands, or depending on the sprays that you made, you could spray them on your pets. So I remember working with a gal who had horses that they had wounds on them, and where the wound was, the bugs and the flies and everything were just crazy, and they would not leave this horse alone. So we were able to take the base of TerraShield, add some other essential oils to it, put it on the horse, rub it down its face, put it on the horse, and we were able to get rid of those bugs from bothering this horse so that the wounds were able to heal. And so I love that they're safe for everyone. Okay, so on the left-hand side, you guys, it kind of goes into a little bit more detail. There are some common essential oils that will help in our gardens, and we've gone over quite a few of them right now. But, you know, things like, I'm going to say eucalyptus. So eucalyptus is really great to discourage mosquitoes from coming around. If you are camping or hiking or outdoors, eucalyptus would be really great to just diffuse or to, you know, wear on your skin. I know some people will make like a bandana and they'll put the oil on it and then they'll wear it around their neck. You know, even on your boots and things, if you've got long jeans that go over your boots, you can put it on your jeans there. And then let's see, we've got tea tree. So what I love about tea tree is when you have tea tree, it's not only going to repel those bugs, but if you have a skin irritation, so what happens once we get bit? Gosh, we've got the skin irritation, we've got it, you know, it's unhappy, it can get swollen, it can be, you know, irritated. And so things like lavender will really help come in and calm the skin in the area. Tea tree is a natural antiseptic, so you can put it on there. It's going to help to cool it and calm it. Plus, tea tree is one of the most calm oils that there is. So I love that it's good for anybody at any age. Geranium. Now, geranium is something that many of you guys may not know. It repels bugs naturally. And so that's why in a lot of garden settings, like most of my planters, my flower pots and stuff have at least one geranium plant growing in it because naturally the bugs want to be away from it. And then it's also really great for your skin. So the scent alone will help to deter all of the bugs. But in a minute, I'm going to give you a recipe for one of my favorite soothing goos, or goos. And you can kind of custom blend it. So if I'm making one specific to go outdoors, then I'm going to look at the oils of which ones are going to be most effective for what it is that I'm using. Now, a pest oil that you might be surprised of is clove. Now, clove is another one that I would add to any of my goos or anything that I'm putting on my skin because it naturally numbs. It's also high in antioxidants. Ants and flies hate it. So it's really great to be able to put in there. So anytime you can take in your garden and you're growing things like thyme or oregano, there are reasons that when you have a tomato plant, if you plant basil next to it, it naturally helps to call in the pollinators and things for your tomato plants, and your tomato plants will always be happier. Now, here's a hack. If you can't grow basil in the area where your tomato plants are, then you can also take a basil spray. So again, maybe 5 or 6 drops in 2 or 4 ounces of water, shake it up, spray it around the base of your tomato plant, and it's going to help it to get what it needs naturally. Let's see. All of the oils, you guys, as you see, whether they're mint, whether they're from herbs, whether they're from flowers, they all have their own aroma also, which is very pleasing to your garden area and to your patio. So when you're out and you've got your diffuser going, and maybe TerraShield's not the blend for you, like you smell it and you're going, it smells too much like a bug spray. So then think of things like geranium, clove, lemongrass, wild orange, peppermint, and you can come up with a combination that will be very effective to repel some of these bugs and yet have a very pleasant scent. Okay, I told you I was going to give you our super goo recipe. If you have not made this, you can make it in small batches. This one here makes 2 cups, I believe. Yes, approximately 2 cups, which is 16 ounces of goo. Now, if you can put it in a 1 cup container, or sometimes what we'll do is we'll make the base of this, and then we'll take and we'll separate sections out, and then we'll add essential oils according to what it is that we're making. Now, what I love about the super goo is this one has lavender, cypress, tea tree, immortelle, and it's just for all kinds of scrapes or burns or whatever you might be dealing with. But now say your hands hurt. You're getting ready, you go out gardening, you're pulling weeds, whatever it is, you're working on your patio, you're just doing things, and you want to make one specific for your hands that are achy. So maybe you're going to add some deep blue, some marjoram, some peppermint. You could still add the immortelle, and you can kind of customize it. So if you look at this recipe, we have 40 drops total oil. So when you're trying to come up and customize your blends, keep it around 40 drops of essential oil. Now you could also add frankincense to that. Now another thing is, what if I were going to make a salve that I was going to put on my hands and then go out and work in the garden? Well then, gosh, maybe I'm going to put things like TerraShield, geranium, lemongrass. And so you can kind of customize it, you guys, to that. One of my favorite blends for hands that hurt is peppermint, cassia, Siberian fir, and a little bit of deep blue. And it really is, and a little bit goes a long ways. Then once you have these little containers, and you could put them, you could say, hey, this is the bug repellent one. This is the one for achy hands. You name them for whatever you want. We also have a spray down here for bye-bye spray, or bye-bye bugs. And again, you'll see that when we're giving some of these recipes, you'll notice that they have all different essential oil blends in them, just depending on what it is that you're trying to create. Okay, say goodbye to swollen, itchy, irritated, you name it. You guys, this is not me in this picture, but I have a picture that you wouldn't recognize who I am, with how bad my allergies were when I first got exposed to doTERRA. You couldn't see the bridge of my nose. My eyes were completely swollen shut to the point where if I had sunglasses on, they would be rubbing up against it. And I thought, you guys, I was the one who was standing at the medicine aisle going, okay, this is for daytime, this is for nighttime, this is for this is for that. And I was really stacking multiple things together, and I wasn't getting any better result. The worst thing about that is it would take me about 20 or 30 minutes to start feeling any kind of effect at all, plus a wet washcloth. So now I've been able to replace all over the counter things. I've been able to replace a yearly shot, eye drops that would numb my eyes, and all kinds of other stuff with these products that are shown right here. Now, lemon, lavender, and peppermint are the three that I went to very first. I would just open the bottles under my tongue, put 2 or 3 drops underneath, hold it in my mouth for about 20 or 30 seconds, and then I would swallow it. Now, that's pretty tough. I know people who will take a little shot glass and they'll add those oils in there, maybe a little bit of honey, and stir it up, and then they'll just shoot it back like you would a shot of alcohol or something. Then about a few years in, they came up with Tri-Ease. I love Tri-Ease because it's on the go. It's in a capsule. You have 2 drops each of lemon, lavender, and peppermint. It's ready to go. Now, if you're on the go and you need to get it out, say you want to get it underneath your nose, or you want to be able to put it around the outside of your eyes or something, you just pop a hole in it, and then you can squirt it out onto your finger and still apply it topically. Now remember that essential oils are strong, they're very potent, so you don't want to get them in your eye, you want to go around the outside edge. Now there's a purpose for each one of these, whether it's swelling, cooling, or actually pulling out whatever irritation or toxin that's in there. And a lot of times what I'll do, if I know I'm getting ready to go work outside in my garden, I'll take 2 tries. I take one and I swallow it, and then I take another one and I pop it in my mouth, let it sit in my mouth for a minute, and then I'll drink down some water. But when you look at the products that are on the right hand side, and I just realized I've got coriander there instead of cilantro. When I have an allergy breakout or I have something happen, and the Tri-Ease isn't quite cutting it, what I'll do is I'll start with either lemongrass or Purify or the cilantro, and I'll take the Tri-Ease first. I'll wait for about 10 minutes, then I'll put a drop or 2 of Purify under my tongue, I'll wait for another 5 or 10 minutes. Then I go lemongrass, wait, and then I'll go cilantro. And by the time I do all of those, then I am completely without any signals or symptoms at all. Then I'll drink some water. Now, the other ones here that are shown are hacks. So when you have that really irritated, puffy swelling, I love the lavender touch. Anytime you have an oil that says touch and it's in a roller, it is perfectly diluted for anyone in your household. Now, what's also great about this is you might think, gosh, I just went outside, the pollen count is high, or I've been getting my hands in the plants and I touch my eyes or rubbing my dog or scratching my cat or whatever. Well, the other really cool thing about all of these is if you get a bug bite and you start swelling, they're going to have the same antihistamine effects and be able to calm and cool the skin. They're going to be able to get rid of that swelling and that puffiness. Now, I can tell you from personal experience that once my eyes are swollen, it's time and a cool cloth and laying on my bed. But these will really take that irritation and it will prevent it from getting out of control. So you heard me say I use this product before I go out into my garden. If I know I'm going to be around a cat and I'm allergic to cats, I'm taking this product before I go and get exposed to the cat. You guys, allergies was the thing that brought me to doTERRA, and it's changed everything for me. I'm very consistent. Now, you might be wondering, okay, what about digest then? Like, what the heck is happening with that here? Well, if you look at the essential oils that are in it, and what I'm going to recommend you guys get really familiar with the products that you have. Because some of the products that you have, like Breathe, for instance, when you look at it, it has rosemary, it has peppermint, it has cardamom. So some of those products in there might help open up our airways when we're outside. It might help get rid of the mice. Mice aren't going to like Breathe either, right? Because it's got rosemary and peppermint in there. With Digestin, the same type thing. It's going to help soothe and calm things down. And so I love these products. If you need or have any questions about any of this stuff that we've talked about so far, make sure you reach out to the person who invited you here. Okay, now I'm going to give you a couple of hacks, because when we're talking about some of these really great products and we're going, okay, how can we stack our products up to make them more effective and to really be able to go on the go without taking our whole essential oil bag or box with us? Well, the skincare products, you guys, I'm going to say what I do with this one is when I'm carrying things like lavender, Tri-Ease, Terra Shield, I will take and I'll put the oil drop in my hand, and then I'll spray that After Sun in there and I rub it together, and then I'll apply it to my skin. Or I'll take the face one and I'll put a little bit of the oil, on my skin, and then I'll put the face and the body stick on over the top. Now, if I'm getting ready to go out into the sun and my lips have been, in the sun already, and maybe I've got a little blister or something on there, then what I'll do is a lot of times I'll take that lavender and I'll just put it on my finger and I'll rub it across my lips, and then I'll put the lip balm over the top of it, and it gives it double protection. Now, what I love about the unscented lotion here, you guys, is I'll take any of the oils that I've talked about so far, just when I was talking about the goo, and say I'm going to be outside, I don't want bugs to bother me, maybe I'm taking geranium, peppermint, and cedarwood. I'm going to drop that into my hands. I'm going to put the unscented lotion, mix it up in my hands, and then I'm going to apply it to my body where I need it to be able to get the best result. Now, on the right side of this, you see irritated skin. Anybody ever get a rash breakout like that? From being in the dirt, around the bugs, around something, my dog can lick me and that's what happens to my skin. He's not going anywhere, but what I need to be able to do is protect my body and take care of it and soothe it. So I love Purify for this reason. So if it were me and I had that rash right now, I would put a couple of drops of Purify, which is going to pull the stuff out of my skin. Like, it's going to work as an astringent, let's get it out of there. But I would probably also add a little cedarwood and lavender, because it's very, very calming to the skin, and it's going to help that relax. One thing I haven't brought up yet is Roman chamomile. A lot of people, this one is an unsung hero. It's very, very calming. So if you think of, I need to calm the swelling around my eyes, I need to calm the bite around on my shoulder, I need to calm whatever is going on, then think of those calming oils. And so then I'm creating whatever it is I need. I'm putting the oils on. And you guys, we use less more often. So if you take 1 drop of Purify and lavender, you put it on with the unscented lotion or the after sun spray or whatever, and it gives you some relief but not enough, well, wait for 20 or 30 minutes and apply a little bit more. It's not going to hurt you. Like, you can't overuse it, but what I always say, use less in the beginning, is because you might not need a bunch. Correct X is another one, you guys. We do our super goo for everything. I feel like that recipe is tried and true. And Tammy was going, it's so much better than the other, but on the go, this one is ready. I use this for my dog. If he gets a bite from something, he just had a thing come up where we're not sure if he got poisoned by a plant or if he got poisoned by a spider or a snake. He was acting super delirious, just kind of standing there wobbling. And of course we're freaking out. Well, the first thing, I found a wound inside of his ear. And so, I take the Purify first to clean it up. I take tea tree, add a little bit of tea tree, and then I put Correct X directly on it after that. And I continue to put Correct X on, I'm going to say about every 40 minutes to an hour for at least 4 or 5 hours. The next day we wake up and he barely has a wound. So I love these products. The last one on this is past tense, which a lot of times people might be going, why the heck would you have past tense in your travel kit, my garden kit, my camping kit, my fishing kit, in my car? And I keep this with me because the blend was formulated for tension headaches and tension in your body. But if you look at the ingredients, okay, we've talked so far about peppermint, cilantro, Roman chamomile, rosemary, basil, marjoram, and lavender. We didn't really talk about frankincense or wintergreen, but all of those products are in this stick or this oil. So I use it anytime I get a bite of any kind. Like, I don't even need to know what bit me. Those no-see-ums that we were talking about earlier. This is the oil and this is the stick that I would put on it. Now, it comes in a stick, which is kind of like a deodorant. What I love about this is you don't have to get it on your hands. You don't have to spread whatever's happening, right? So you just take it, you just swipe it on there. But if you have the essential oil and you're going, gosh, I need more than just, I want extra. So you could put that oil on, just touch the top, tap it on the area. Just remember, if you've got something that has irritated your skin, you don't want to go from the bottle to your skin, from the bottle to your skin. So what I'll do is I'll put it in my hand or on the back of my hand, and then I'll just tap it from my hand to the irritated spot. You guys, these products are so good. They work very effectively. They're safe for our entire family. It's just figuring out how it's going to best support you. And the better part is that, like with our dog, you guys, we didn't know really what happened. But I knew that I had something in my little bag of tricks that could help him and calm him down, calm me down, because that was the other thing. It's take it, breathe it in yourself first, Haley, and then kind of just evaluate and see what happens. So frankincense, sandalwood were the other oils that I put on him, on his belly and on his back, just to help him, to support him with whatever it was that was happening. Okay, so when we're out in our yards and we're, cleaning our patios or doing our gardening or cleaning up our yard, pain is something that people will deal with. So I wanted to just give you this screenshot real quick of different ones that, and as you're looking at the oils, you guys, so you could make these into a roller bottle. You could make this, you could take these recipes and put them into that goo that we were talking about. You could also take this and put it in your unscented lotion. So one of the things I like to do is I'll take old containers, like I just got done using a jar of ghee. I washed it out. Now I can take that jar and I can create something else. So if I were to take the unscented lotion and squirt it in there, then I could add one of these recipes to it, mix it up with a toothpick or a stir stick, and have it ready to go for whenever I needed it. Other things that we can use is the deep blue stick. How many of you guys love the deep blue stick? Yeah, it's like there's a couple of us. I use it every single day. So because I know what's in deep blue, so again, we've got marjoram, peppermint, wintergreen, some of these things that bugs don't like. I'll put it on my ankles. I'll put it on my wrist. I'll put it on my lower back for a couple of reasons. Is because I know that my lower back is going to be irritated from going, whatever it is I'm doing out there. And, but it's also going to repel some of those pesky little things that we were talking about, like flies. And if you ever have a fly that just keeps coming at them, and you swat it and it keeps coming and keeps coming, well, you don't have to worry about it with this. So many really great beneficial things that we can use. Okay, I just thought I would throw these in here. Lemonade, tis the season. We were talking about patios, and these are two of my favorite recipes. Either one of them, sometimes I will add a little bit of ginger. I also love lavender lemonade. You can kind of, again, customize them. You can make them however you want. They're so easy to make and very refreshing. And you're getting such a great uplifted thing. So whether you're having guests come over to your patio just to hang out, you've got your diffuser going, you don't have to worry about any of the bugs and the flies and things like that. And you can just sip on your lemonade and enjoy your evening. Okay, so a lot of the recipes that we talked about tonight are in our Good Vibes Essential Recipe book. Here is a QR code that you can go to. If you go at checkout and put the word SAVE, you will get a discount on this book. We get the order, we ship it right to you. It's about 300 pages, and I'm just going to say there's almost 700 recipes in here. Now, we live in the the path of the Mormon crickets. If you have not ever experienced these things, they are nasty. And so a couple of years ago, I'm going, okay, I'm going to figure this out. And I was all prepared. We had a huge diffuser on our front porch. We had one on the back porch. I took one of those huge bug sprayers or, weed sprayers. And I got this blend, and I was putting full bottles of these oils into it, shaking it up, spraying it. And I won the battle for a little while, but what happens when the crickets come is when they die, the others eat them, and then it brings more and more and more. But what we were able to do with this blend, you guys, is we were able to keep a clear path where my dog could go outside and not be bothered by them. We sprayed, around the doorway, around the patio and stuff, so that it really did help to repel them. And then, of course, we have a body spray recipe. This book is just packed full of recipes. And so, yeah, if you guys don't have it, I encourage you to get it. Okay, last day. We've had this sale going on for at least a week now, where you save 20% off of the products that we've shown here. And the things that we talked about tonight are the Deep Blue, the TerraShield, the Citronella, and the Correct-X. It's not too late to get in on that savings, and to, if you've already got one thing of Correct-X, then I would get another one and put it in my, my travel box or whatever. Really great products. I love them all, and I use them every single day. Okay, I'm going to stop the share and see if we have any questions, or if anybody has, a recipe that they'd like to share with us, or anything. We're open and ready.
Fun fact, your friend got bit on the forehead by a spider again. I don't know what it is. It's my blood. I swear to God. Thought it was a zit. It's not. It's a spider bite. We zoomed in on it today. So I made a little concoction with baking soda, and I popped 2 Tri-E's because we're outside and I didn't have my lemon lavender peppermint. I'm not kidding you. It reduced within an hour by half. So it's amazing. I was doing Purify as well, and then I did Revitazen. But the tri-E's, and I've been taking those like no other. I'm gonna admit I took 10 today, so even my pee smells like lavender. It's just it's potent, but it's working. It's so cool how fast it's working. So if you ever get a bite and you're kind of in a pickle, take those tri-E's and just pop them. Just pop them and put them on there as well. Because I wasn't near my oils, but I was near my soft gels. Little fun fact.
Love it. So, what did you actually put on the spider bite, Sarah? You said baking soda.
Yeah, so I made a concoction of baking soda with the tri-E's. I popped the two tri-E's soft gels in there, and then a little bit of water because we were right here. And then I also put, so before I put the baking soda, I put Purify, and then I put Revitazen. I know it was just a weird concoction. I'm just trying to detoxify it, is what my thoughts are, because that's what you've taught me. And then put the baking soda paste on top, and it really, really dried it out. It's half the size, and it doesn't itch. The itch went away completely.
So, what's really cool about what she shared with us is in a pinch, you use what you've got. And if you don't know, then, if you guys have either the Modern Essentials or the Essential Life book, you can look up things that are anti-inflammatory. You can look up things that are antispasmodic. You can look up things that are antifungal. You can look up things that are natural antihistamine. So what I love about these classes, and not only preparing them, because I'm learning every time I teach a class, I'm preparing and I'm learning something new, is magnolia. Now that's not one of the ones that's on sale, I don't believe, but neroli is. So because it's calming, you look at your oils and you find out which ones are calming, and you've got something going on. You're going, oh my gosh, I don't even know what's happening right now, but my face is like on fire and I need to calm it down. Well, then reach into your bag at anything that is cooling, any mint, eucalyptus, geranium, those are all cooling. And of course, supermint, mint, peppermint, spearmint. And then what is calming? Gosh, if we start listening to calming oils, right? It's like Calmer from the kids collection, Serenity, Balance, frankincense. And that's not just talking about the lavenders and things like that, you guys. So just remember that if you are just getting started on your essential oils, or you have been here for a long or hot minute like I have, is it's like if you have the resource, you can say which oils are calming. If you have 10 of them, put them in your search. Go into the back and put, okay, which one is calming? Which one? Or you can, like, I don't rely on ChatGPT, but I'm not against going in there and saying which oils from doTERRA are safe for a bug bite, and just see what it comes up with. Now, unlike going into something like Pinterest, that I wouldn't go for, because I've had people walk in and they're going, okay, could you make me this for my headache? And it will have like 45 oils on it. And I'm like, really? What are you trying to create? Because you could do a lot less, or a lot more with a lot less. So, and this is the journey of learning, you guys. You could also go into good vibes, because we have, years of good vibes, and just put in there, bug bite or bug or bite or, whatever. Okay, Sarah?
Jeremiah, he keeps a ruler of jasmine in his pocket. So if you guys have heard about his journey, he keeps jasmine in his pocket, and it has since November. And so we have that in stock. And he goes, Mom, your eye is swelling and like between my eyes. And so he had me roll the jasmine on it, and it was calming. It was calming, and that's what he has. And that actually is 20% off. So that's funny you say that. But the jasmine helped a lot as well.
Gosh, when in doubt, get the oil out. We've got so many good ones that we can use. Okay, anybody else have any questions or comments or ideas, testimonials? Okay, Elizabeth.
I put it in the chat, but I don't know who saw it. When I started this journey, I was on 31 different prescriptions. I am down to 11 with the oils, and I have full backing of my doc.
That is incredible. Congratulations. That is such good news. Like
And
that's got to feel good.
some medicines, yes, I will not be able to come off of because of my disease and having a feeding tube. But the fact that I've dropped from 31 to 11.
That's awesome. And you know what's really cool about that is sometimes I was just having this conversation with somebody. It's like we don't know what's going on in the inside of our bodies when we start this journey and we're on essential oils. Or I'll have people say, "Well, I don't even know if I need to take the VMG. I don't notice anything different," until they're not taking it. Or, using one of your essential oils, if we can replace one thing or even cut down on something, then we're doing our job, right? So to be able to get rid of, gosh, over 20 different prescriptions. And, it's like what I love about today is 15 years ago when I started on my essential oils journey, it wasn't trending. People didn't know what to do with it. They thought it was some kind of weird woo-woo stuff. And now doctors are sending people to me for essential oils. And I love that. You
Yeah,
know?
mine has asked, all right, what are you doing? What are you using? I need to try it. How do I get it? I'm like, that's easy to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Of course, I think I may be related to Sarah, as many bug bites as I get, and spiders and all that other stuff. So we must be related.
I think there actually is something in a blood type that attracts certain things. So, but we're not going to change that, but we do have essential oils that will work for it, right? Well, congratulations. I love that you shared that with us. Thank you. Okay, you guys, anybody else have anything that they would like to add or questions? Okay. Well, thank you for joining us on our class tonight. I don't know what class is going to be on next time, but you'll be able to find this recording on our YouTube station as well as in our Good Vibes Facebook page. And if there's anything that I can do for you guys, help you guys with some questions or anything, always feel free to reach out to me or to the person who invited you here. I appreciate you guys taking the time to put into yourselves, right? To learn about these products and to be able to discover how to use them to get the best results. All right, you guys have a great night and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.